You happen to believe in the tainted counterfeit church narrative Rome. Nope. Catholics narrative Babylon. Nope. I don't. Religion is going to die, and spiritual teaching is where Jesus was Gnostic spiritual teacher. So the reason I don't follow that is the Gnostic is part of the Roman Greco-Jewish sect. I am not debating religion. Jesus is weary with religion. Weary. So what? Yeah. I'm not a fan of religion. However, I went see it. What you don't understand is not. Yeah, I was raised Roman Catholic, but I didn't find God there. I found God in because I was an alcoholic, and so in the desperations of a place that wasn't even a church, it's just an AA room. God carried me all the way through, still does today. And so when I realized that God was real, I went down all these paths. I went down the energy center paths. I went down the path of the seven chakras. I went down primordial sound path, which was Deepak Chopra. Yeah, paid $500 for that bullshit. Let's see. I went down the Joe Dispenza path, but his was the last. And all he's done is changed chakras to energy centers. And so then, lo and behold, those brought me nowhere. Years of doing meditations, whether it was Buddhist meditations, primordial sound, doing my mantra, which primordial sound is they give you what the sound of the universe was making when you were born. Yeah, but it's a mantra you say. I did all of that stuff for years because I knew God existed. I found that out. And going down every other single path brought me back to the Bible. And it doesn't mix. It doesn't. The energy centers and the seven chakras, they have revitalized that so much. It goes back to the ancient dragon religion. It does. And people don't know it, but it does. So, and Gnosticism comes from the Greco-Roman Jewish sect, the false path. So I'm not for religion, but I am for the Bible. There are many places that I don't agree with what is taught. We are not supposed to just believe whatever somebody tells us about the Bible. It is up to us to go to the teacher, as Jesus said. But not everything they say is wrong. I most especially take issue with the Catholic religion because they act the most like Pharisees. And they dress like Pharisees. And Jesus didn't like that and made it clear he didn't like it when the Pharisees did it. So why they took that role on just wasn't a good look. But they make excuses. They make excuses. They all make excuses. But this Gnosticism crap, that's really what is being pushed right now. And I used to believe it. I thought, oh no, God supports all these religions. He doesn't. Not the biblical God. But the Islam will blend with Hinduism because those were there in the beginning. God was already not happy with them. The Old Testament God wasn't. There was the Baal worshiping. Does it change over time? Sure it does. It reinvents itself. It calls itself, instead of the seven chakras, it says it's seven energy centers, and these have to open and awaken in your third eye, and kundalini, and the serpent literally going up your spine, and you'll be enlightened. And people don't see what that's about. Go look at some of these statues in China of the seven-headed snake. Or I shouldn't say, the seven-headed serpent. I've done a ton of videos, so I'm not going to try to pull the pictures up now. Go look at their life-size statues in India. And I'm not trying to bash these countries. I'm just saying that there's people that need to stand up. And yes, you can't go to war with these people over religion. You can't do it. The founders knew this. The founders they saw what was going on over there in England. They saw how do you make this work? And the only way you can make it work is you have to have people that are strong enough that are going to stand up for the Bible and say, no, you are welcome to practice whatever you want. That is what you believe in, and I am not going to push my religion on you or push my faith on you. However, to protect my country, I'm going to stand up for what the values of this country was founded on, which was the Bible. It wasn't the Quran. Just because people came here, Muslims came here, Arabs came here and worshiped that, that's fine. They're welcome to do that. But in their history, once they get enough people in, then they take over. That's what's happening in Europe. And they've done that since the very beginning. It's their playbook. Their playbook is about the lie, and then people want to claim, no, it's the radical sect. That, you know what, that can be really questioned seriously. I mean, but that's a fine line. That the Quran came in way later. Then you have the Hinduism. Now that one is the oldest. That's the serpent going up the spine. That's the energy centers and the chakras, and the serpent is this deity. It's Naga. Naga is the king of the cobras. Yes, he came to help Buddha. He came to help many. He will merge with many religions, which is why it's brought to you that it's about spirituality. So Jesus is about spirituality. Nope. Nope. That's how deceptive it is. So you're wrong. I am not about tainted, counterfeit church narrative. I've spent close, like 30 years praying to God every day because God got me sober, and keeping that connection, as it talks about in the 12 steps. The 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous were written based on the Bible, and the 11th step is keeping a continuous conscious connection with God, so that we are following His will. Now, if you want to follow whatever intuitive practices you want, I would just say be careful. Jesus did say the wicked one is the prince of the air, is the prince of the air, is the prince of darkness. And that prince of darkness has come through our radio waves, has come through the TV, through propaganda, has come through the way of religion, all these different other ancient religions that the Old Testament God was not happy about. So, I'm not about Gnosticism. I would have been at one time because it seems like it makes sense. But again, that's why the Bible says you can't think like God. But then that side too also loves to tell people, no, you're going to become enlightened and you'll become the Godhead. Big mistake there. But that's the same mistake everybody makes in history over and over and over and again. And that's the reason why God says in the New Testament that there's going to be more going on that road. There will most you want to be on the path where most people are not on. I keep telling people that's what you want. This is a time you do not want to be with the crowd. And you could say what you want about, I would say between Protestantism and Presbyterian, yeah, they've all had their different complaints. And I think that Catholicism, whatever it maybe once was, I don't think they knew Jesus's word well enough. They've complicated it, which I really think really upsets God, is how much they've complicated it. And they have too many people that don't understand it. They only understand it through going to seminary school. And who created seminary school? Well, the very Prince of Darkness that Jesus said runs this world. So that's why Jesus said he was the teacher. And that's why the gift that Moses had in the Old Testament, everyone, once Jesus came, everybody had access to that. But they weren't going to get it. They weren't going to get that connection to Jesus via 7 chakras and energy centers or Kundalini or whatever other practice. They can mix it all they want. It is not the right spirit. It's the reason Jesus said, test the spirits. So I've learned after all those paths, it's the Bible only.